What is this Trump tariff and why is it on war with China? Here's the detail that I want to bring to you. This is a new tariff that Donald Trump has threatened. It's a higher 50% tariff. This is apart from the reciprocal tariff of 34% when he was announcing for all countries, 34% for China. This is apart from the 20% tax that has come in to curb fentanyl flow from China into the United States of America. So this clearly raises the bar when it comes to Chinese goods and the tariffs against them. Remember, usually the baseline tariff has been 10% and he's given it to many countries, including New Zealand. However, when it comes to 34, then a 50%, just imagine the kind of the additions that are coming in with regard to tariff against China, therefore perhaps the highest in many ways. Total tariff rate, therefore, goes beyond 100% as well in certain cases. So pre-existing tariff from first term was between 7.5 to 25%, and it could go beyond 80% as well when it comes to China on certain goods. So that is why one of the reasons that China is threatening, in turn saying this is economic blackmail, we'll do a tit for that. And Donald Trump says, I'll impose a higher tariff. But it's not just about China. For example, Germany has also said this is a nonsense tariff against the United States of America. Europe, remember, could be very important because that is where European Union could be facing a massive impact, a higher tariff by Trump administration. More in this report.
I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
The world is getting a taste of Trump's bitter medicine, and he's showing no signs of reversing course. But there is some pushback. After striking back with a slew of countermeasures, including extra levies of 34% on all US goods, China is calling Trump's tariffs protectionist bullying.
The Chinese government has made its solemn position clear regarding the US abuse of tariffs. The United States, under various pretexts, has imposed tariffs on all its trading partners, including China, which severely infringes upon legitimate rights and interests of other countries, seriously violates the rules of the World Trade Organization, gravely undermines the rule-based multilateral trading system, and disrupts global economic order and stability. The Chinese government strongly condemns and firmly opposes such actions. The US approach is a typical act of unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying, which causes harm to others while backfiring on itself.
Europe has reacted with a mix of criticism, economic concern, and calls for unity within the European Union.
Stiamo governando nel momento probabilmente più difficile.
Of course, we did not agree with the choice of the United States, but we are ready to deploy all the instruments, negotiations and economic needed to support our businesses and the sectors that will be penalized.
Germany's economy minister was among the first European officials to voice strong criticism, labeling the US move as dangerous and counterproductive.
Insofern trifft die Argumentation, die Trump...
The argument that Trump uses as the basis for his decision simply does not apply. So we shouldn't get involved in this argument at all. And this is linked to the fact that talk of reciprocal tariffs, that is such countermeasures against advantages that Europe or the world has over the USA, is simply wrong. They are preventive measures. They are isolationist measures that he has taken with serious damage to the global economy. The stock markets are already collapsing and the damage could become even greater.
The US decision to raise tariffs against Europe and the rest of the world is extremely unfortunate, but the EU stands united right now. We're in favor of a negotiated solution, but of course stands ready for countermeasures that are well targeted.
Voices of discontent are also growing louder within the United States. Billionaire fund manager Bill Ackman, who endorsed Donald Trump's run for president, said the US leader was losing the confidence of business leaders and should pause his trade war. Elon Musk himself is pushing for zero tariff zone between US and EU.
I hope that the United States and Europe can establish a very close partnership. We obviously are, there's an alliance already, but I'm hopeful that there can be a very close relationship with America and Europe.
Goldman Sachs has raised the odds of a US recession to 45% from 35%. the second time it has increased its forecast in a week, amid a growing chorus of such predictions by investment banks due to an escalating trade war. At least 7 top investment banks have raised their recession risk forecasts, with JP Morgan putting the odds of a US and global recession at 60%, on fears that the tariffs will not only ignite US inflation, but also spark retaliatory measures from other countries. Bureau Report, India Today.